Today we're going to learn how to kill someone with your front foot lead hook.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the,
Preface, understand literally everything for this technique happens on the front side of the body.
comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the,
There's 4 points to the technique. First is the foot placement of your front foot. Second point is loading up your kinetic potential over that front foot. Third is the initiator of the strike, how you twist your ankle and your knee to release that kinetic potential. 4 is obviously the delivery of the fist itself.
y'all don't really want it like that.
Point number 1 is the foot placement. The most important point about the power and efficiency of this technique is where you place your lead foot. 30 degrees between you and your target. This is my target here, it's facing me there. My target, and this is my foot. That's the angle. My foot is here, here's my target, here. Step number 2 is loading up the kinetic potential of the movement. So all the potential force that you're going to generate now happens in step number 2. So I place my foot down here, pow. Key thing to understand with this technique is everything is happening over the front foot, over the lead foot. That's why it's called a front foot lead hook. Front foot lead hook. I'm generating force and power through my lead foot. I'm delivering it through my lead foot, and I'm staying heavy over my lead foot.
Here comes the,
At no point do I shift. Conversely, you have hooks where you go from front foot to back foot, front foot to back foot, or even left and then right. There's no multi-planar movement here. There's no multi-dimensions here. This is all through the front, the lead, the lead. Make sure that my frame is strong and my axis of rotation is strong over that lead foot. So my ankle, my knee, my hip, my shoulder, and my center of gravity is through this plumb line here, through this axis here. 1, 2, 3, 4, there. Heavy, heavy, look. My back foot doesn't even need to be on the ground at this point. My back foot acts literally as a counter lever. Everything is through here, heavy through here. Do pistol squats to develop this actually. Multi-dimensional pistol squats. Curtsy squats, pistol squats. Anyway, through here I want to load up, right? So I'm going to aim to connect my rear shoulder towards my knee, there. Lead elbow comes back to my hip here. That's all it is. There. Exaggerated version. Like this. Subtle version. When if I'm actually fighting, me coming here is very obvious what I'm going to do. So I can do the same thing with my looks when I'm feinting. Look, I've set it up here. I'm in position now. So if I do this for a bit and I move around, here's the setup. See? As if I'm just walking towards someone and I do this, I'm obviously going to hit them with a lead hook. Move, 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 move. Oh look, here I am in position, go. So here's the setup here. Again, everything, look, it's through that front foot still. Really important you understand your center of mass is over the middle of your lead foot. That's the only thing that matters. This is like almost killing a man version of when you're having sex and you're at the point of no return. You're building up, you're building up, you're building up, you're building up, and you really, really want to release. Really want to release. This is what this kinetic potential should feel like. When you've coiled properly, your weight in your center of mass is over that lead foot, midpoint of your foot. Right shoulder is nice and coiled, left elbow is tucked and ready. You should have a real desire to let go of all of that. So step number 3 is the release of that tension. Step number 1 is the foot placement. Step number 2 is the build up the tension. Step number 3 is the release of the tension, okay? And this happens through your ankle and your knee. The punch is secondary, the punch is whatever, the fist is whatever. It's the actual ankle and the knee moving first and releasing first. It's like you're finally giving yourself permission just to bust. Like, you've been waiting, oh, I don't want to come here, I don't want to come here, I don't want to come here, I need to impress her, like, da-da-da, and then go. This is the moment you just go, yeah, fuck it, I'm good to go. This is the money shot here. So this is the ankle and the knee twisting in. This punch, the effectiveness of this punch and the power of this punch can literally be visually represented by how efficiently your knee turns inward and your ankle turns inward. First thing you actually see is your knee coming in. So I'm coiled here, and I leave with my knee there. Yeah. And it has to be controlled. Obviously you're not trying to break your own knee. It has to be very controlled. You have to have strong mechanics. You have to do this with integrity. You don't want to just be twisting your knee out. Your knee simply leads the rest of your body. Knee leads the hip, which leads the shoulder, which leads the fist. I'm not just throwing my knee for no reason. I'm creating my tension here. I lead with my knee. Look, that allows me to go. So you're staying on your front foot here, twisting. By the time the fist lands, you want to feel a very heavy connection to the floor of your foot. That's how you know you're doing this technique strong. That's how you're going to get the results. Foot is connected, knee is connected, hip is connected, shoulder is connected, all downwards into the floor. The floor is pulling all your body down into it. My foot supports my ankle supports my knee supports my hip supports my glutes, and in conjunction with my core, support my lats, which support my shoulder, which creates a powerful 90-degree frame into my elbow and my fist in a straight line here. When all of that is in structural integrity there, that's the punch. Yeah, loaded. I'm swimming with my shoulder in. I've got an extra, there's a good little tip here, a little hack. At the moment of delivery, swim your shoulder forward. Here, this is with your lats and your rotator cuff. In terms of placement of the fist, for a shorter punch, vertical fist in here. For a longer punch, horizontal fist here. For the horizontal fist, I'm going top knuckle there. All the pressure is going through that specific part of my knuckle. That's in line with this bone there, with this muscle here, with this shoulder here, look. That's all in a dead straight line there. And all that pressure is going into a guy's face in there. You see how intense that is? You see how much force is generated just through the integrity of that fist? Even if you're a tiny, small person who can't even punch that hard, when you're precise on this level, you make up for a lack of power just by having structural efficiency, right? Versus hitting here, and look, I'm moving, it's coming this way, it's nowhere. I just want it all be a straight line there. So when I throw that long hook, and it's landing there, here. Conversely, shorter, I'm going middle here, like that. And this is for a shorter one, this for a longer one. Ideally, in a perfect world, you want that fist to be placed perfectly, you want to land with the perfect part of you. It's a fight, do you know what I mean? There's so much crazy shit happening. As long as you get the timing right and the mechanics are on point, doesn't matter where you hit him with. You can hit with your wrist, your little fucking knuckle, doesn't matter. The most important thing is the timing and the mechanics of your body delivering the fist. The fist is like the last thing. That's like the salt bay on top. That's the fist there. The actual meat, the actual steak, the actual value is in the mechanics with which you deliver the punch and the timing. How open is he? How well did you time it? Is he coming into you? Like, create that collision effect. Are you leading into him? Have you put his hand out the way first? Have you set it up well? Come on to set up in a minute. The point is punch with your feet. Punch with good mechanics, right? And last point is the back foot. It doesn't really matter what the back foot does, to be honest. The back foot can come off, it can stay on the floor. All it's going to do is act as a counter lever, just so they don't fall over. That's all it's for, the back foot. Oh man, I need to test this thing. When do you use this technique? The answer is when you want to kill someone. The pros to it is that it's very powerful. You're committing so much weight and so much force into this movement. It's devastating, especially when you time it correctly. When do right, no can defend. So those are the pros: powerful, lethal, when you want to fuck someone up. The cons are that it requires so much commitment and balance that if you miss, or even if you land it and they block it, you're going to be a little bit exposed in the immediate moment afterwards. So your balance has to be perfect, and be aware that if they somehow block it or you miss, you're going to be a little bit open. The other con is that it requires a lot of practice, because it's not easy to do. This isn't something you can just randomly throw out. It requires setups and nuance. With that being said, let's look at some setups which are so important in making this technique work. I'd personally only really be looking to use this when an opponent's backpedaling, when their general movement is going backwards and I'm bullying them across the ring, across the cage, across the space. When they're coming towards me aggressively and I'm the one moving backwards, it's harder to throw. You can do it, but it's harder. The first example is off a jab. A jab disguises the foot placement, because any good fighter is going to be seeing your whole body when they're fighting you, and they're going to be looking at your feet primarily. So if they see the lead foot cock inwards and they see the weight slightly shift onto the lead foot, they know that there's most likely going to be a lead hand attack coming. I throw my jab there, and the whole purpose of the jab is just to set my body up without him really noticing. Then as I recoil my jab, look, I'm ready to go here, and then at that point I literally just release, and then I just do the technique. Also, if he's had to come up to parry my jab, liver's open there. But it's rooting special, this. Similar to the jab, it's just a push. So if we're in a clinch or whatever, or we're resting, and I manage to create some space and push him. Look, I'm pushing him into the setup. So that push is my setup. Come back. We're resting and resting and resting. Here. As I push him, look, I'm set up. Even if I push him here, again, set up there. If you're smart, you would have seen probably the most obvious setup from here, which is the lead cross. So the lead rear hand. I'll be showing my looks, keeping my hands high, throwing my jabs or whatever, moving about, and I'll lead with my rear hand. If I'm really trying to hit him with that rear hand, through the middle, here, or I'm just touching him, I'm going to show a shot also. The point is look, I'm in that position already. I'm set up, I'm ready to go. We've got a jab, we've got a push, our rear hand. Most important thing when you're doing any of these setups is realizing that's what they are. They're setups. They're setting you up. Step 2 of the 4 steps that I spoke about at the start, which is loading up the kinetic potential. That's all that these are doing. That's all they're doing is I'm setting myself up so that my next move immediately can be go. Ideally, you want to time it off the back of slipping his punch as well. If I'm deliberately touching there and setting up, my face is already near his rear hand, so he might take that bait. He might just throw his right hand out when I'm ready. Here, look. Here. Go on the time. I'm ready to go, load it up. Look how short, this is where we use that short, sharp, vertical one. Look where I'm going to catch him as well. That's completely legal. If you want to talk rules, I don't really give a shit about rules, but if you want to talk about rules in MMA or whatever, that's fully legal. That's his fault for committing too much. Yeah? That's a very fatal punch, like very, very fatal punch. And that's his fault entirely for overcommitting. That was all in my setup. So go back. He tried it, that's it. The key to landing that particular technique is that you keep everything tucked, your elbows short. This frame has to be short and powerful, and you're generating purely from the floor here, through your lats, through your shoulders, you're rotating inwards, swimming in. Knockout, every time that's a knockout, every time. Even if he's astute and he's sharp and he's good and he tries to catch me with an uppercut as I'm leaning in here, exactly the same thing, I'm just leaning to that, I'm slipping to the outside. There, look, I'm ready. Ready here, ready here. So my centre of mass is over that plumb line here. So no matter what he throws, whether it's a cross here, whether it's an uppercut here, look, I'm set up every time. Even if I have to move my feet backwards, even if I throw my feet backwards and then I step forward again, same setup here. Go. Same with the teeth. Teep them, push them. It's gonna create a little vacuum that they're gonna want to fill, especially if they're an aggressive fighter. They're gonna want to come back. At that point, catch them as they're coming in.
Here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like.
Teep here, and he comes back. I'm set up again, still into that space that I create. Teeping back.
Yeah, I mean, happen with the train. Sure, yeah. We can just do like another quick 30-second.
Filming the filming.
He wants to film the film.
Inception, yes, sick. The energy's real. Yeah. The power's real. Influencer Inception. Where are we? We're in Morocco. Maroc. What's the address? Maroc Gym. Why should people train here?
Boxing, MMA, and weight training. Just welcome. พัฒนาการ Well and in Thailand.
Boom. Alright, if you're in Bangkok, you heard it from the man himself. And you might get to learn from the best coach on planet Earth. You get me? Right, go again, throw it. Just like but now you fucking, now you got it. Now you got the shit again.
You missed it actually like the
Shut up.
30 seconds of teaching.
30 seconds of... No, look. Tell it, you tell him.
Yeah, so the camera wasn't rolling there, but like, you just missed him giving me like the aha moment where like, he was explaining how I have to be rooted in the ground and take my awareness from my upper body, which is kind of like intuitively where you want it to be when you're throwing a punch, and where it will be when you're throwing a punch, because obviously you're throwing your arm, but really it should be on the ground. So he explained it very well.
Let's go again. Look, so try and throw how you were throwing it when you started. Well, he's actually done it too good. He's actually improved it too much in 30 seconds. Right, look, as a case in point, most people are going to do this right when they start. This is what Henry was doing when he started. Well, up here, like that. He's moving. All his prana, all his chi, all his mental awareness is top heavy up here. But as a big gym guy, as a strong guy, he's used to bench presses, used to whatever the fuck, like press ups, all this sort of stuff. People aren't taught that you punch with your feet. You punch from the ground up. When you watch boxers, right, there's a reason boxers with like skinny, look at a skinny Mexican. Mexicans are not built intimidatingly. When they walk so heavily though, they're so plodgy. That power that they create is from having heavy feet. They train with weights on their ankles, to ground to the floor. This is where the power of this punch comes from. You can be the biggest, scariest, biggest guy in the world, with all the muscle in the world, but if your feet are just everywhere, you don't have any axis connected to the floor, it doesn't matter. The rest of your body doesn't matter. You have to have a strong axis, a strong point of connection, a magnetic point of connection. So if my feet are doing this when I'm punching, it's not really that powerful, right? Okay. So this here's a good example because stop there for a minute. His movement is a lot better. He's keeping his feet more on one plane, but they're still not connected to the ground. They're coming up. His energy, his natural chi, his natural habits, his natural energetic habits are to come up, are to elevate upwards. There's a really key principle here that comes from Tai Chi about rooting and growing like a tree at the same time. You root into the floor heavy with your feet as you grow upwards. There's a mistake. It took me years to really understand this, where I thought, all right, cool, I generate power from the floor and it comes up like a wave from my foot, through my legs, into my core, into my fist. And I was coming up like this and my feet were losing connection. I looked like I was just fucking some leprechaun or something like this. People see this and they want to move around like that, like a boxer. But the real key point is that at the moment of delivery of a punch, all your weight is in the floor. You've got like a neutron star amount of mass grounding you into the floor. Your intention is to root into the floor as you punch. That's what allows you to throw all of your weight into a target. Here, look at that. That's powerful, right? Like my feet are grounded. That's what allowed me to be so vicious with my hands, because I have a strong structural foundation. So good foundations in your life, you have a good life. It's the same point. If you have a good foundations with your feet in boxing, you're able to have good punches. So yes, I can be mobile, I can move about, but the moment of delivery, so Conor and Jose Aldo is a very good example of this. He's keeping him away as he threw the cross and then he slipped to his left as he does. And even though his feet were so light the whole time, and he's in this karate position where he's really light feet like this, all of this shit, as he parried, yes, he was light on his feet and he was going back. The moment that he threw the punch, his feet were so rooted to the floor. The moment of connection here was so strong, like so powerfully rooted to the floor, even though he was very nimble. So I throw that cross again. At this point, I'm heavy. And this is the top level. This is the highest level you can get at, really. So this isn't going to come easy. Like, I'm making it sound very easy. It's not. You have to practice the fuck out of this. It's not an easy thing to be able to do. You're going to fall over. Your punches are going to feel weak. You're going to be malcoordinated. It takes a lot of practice. So I'm moving. Look, I'm moving. He throws this cross. As I then go, even though my feet have been dancing and tipping's happening, the moment I decide to throw my punch, in that split, and when I say split second, I'm talking like 0.001 second. This is happening on an invisibly fast level. You can't see this, you have to know about it, you have to be taught it, you have to be shown it. I connect to the floor, I root hard to the floor, then I go here. and then I'm back out again. Then I'm moving again, right? Bang. Go throw that cross. Bang. At this point in delivery, I'm so heavy into the ground, even though I look like I'm so light on my feet. So it's yin and yang. Lightness and heaviness. Dark, light, black, white, dualistic, right? Good, evil. Always these same principles. 1, 2. Universal truths I always talk about. I'm light, I'm heavy, bang, I'm light again. Light and heavy at the same time. A lot of top level martial arts is contradictory. It sounds like it sounds oxymoronic. Be heavy, be light. It's like, which one do you want me to be? When you know, right? You'll feel it. Okay? Go one more time, let me show. So with that being said, Henry, what you just this I said all that because you look at Henry and he's going, his axis now is good. I wish you'd seen his first 20 seconds, but like his axis now is good. He knows what he should be doing, rotating around that frontal axis. But still his feet are coming up at the moment of delivery. So he's too light, too much of the yin, not enough yang. Too feminine, too fluid, too like sensitive up here. He wants to be rooted and hard and masculine and angry and acidic. Here, alpha rooting to the floor as you punch. Yeah, better, but it's still, right foot is still swinging round.
Tell me you said the right foot can do anything.
It can do anything, but you don't want it to be swinging.
Okay.
You don't want to be giving away momentum into the ever. You've got all of this power that wants to ideally go through this knuckle.
Yeah.
The moment any of it goes elsewhere, it's just wasted potential. You know what I'm saying? You want to maximise everything you have. Yeah, nice. When I say it can go anywhere, more I mean it can just sort of come up. It doesn't need to be as rooted as the front foot. Better. Now you're looking heavier, right? Now your whole body's heavier. Now you're heavier into your foot. Now you're rooting into the floor. You look like a composite puncher. Your feet, your legs, everything is now what's creating the strike. You're punching with your frontal axis now. You're not just punching as a big guy with your chest and your arm. You feel different. Right, one more time. Nice. So as you load up, so we're going to break it down again. So step number 1 is what? Foot placement, right? Let's go, foot placement. Yeah. Say it out for me. Right, step number 1 is what? Beautiful. Step number 2 is loading up with kinetic potential. So now in step number 2, meditate and breathe and put your prana and your awareness over your front foot and ankle and knee. There you go. And just feel and let this set like cement, like psychosomatically now. So you're now letting your emotion and your neurons and your awareness and your breath, and you're putting it into what this feels like. This now needs to be something you can just cool on in seconds. Because all the stuff we did at the end with the setups and stuff, that split second shit, you need to be able to have it already formed so you can just pick it out and deploy it. In the middle of a fight when you go, oh, I've slipped this right hand, so now I need to just quickly load up. And step number 1, and you don't have time for that. It needs to just come out because you've locked it in. This is you now locking it in and saving it into your hard drive. So you're loading up and you're just feeling what it's like to be over that front foot. So your chest is over your hip, which is over your knee, which is over your ankle, in that straight line that we talked about before. Get used to this feeling. You need to be able to call on this and just deploy it at any given minute. So get used to it. You spend hours doing this, hours just rotating here. Just be used to it. Yeah, beautiful. So that now looks a lot better because you're squatting into it in a way you weren't before. You can carry your weight now. Beforehand, you didn't even know how to do that. So in the space of 2 minutes, you've been able to shift your center of gravity into a position that's now what we're looking for, which is efficient. There you go, right? Go and throw it. Fucking hell, right, keep going. Jesus, see what I'm saying? Even from like 10 seconds ago, that's better. There it is. See, look, and your right foot isn't just fucking off like going playing ping pong.
It's light, but it's not.
There you go. Nice. Beautiful. Now try this as a little example. Pull back with your right hip and your right hand as you throw the left. So actively pull against the front rotation. Yeah. Through the bag, yeah, feel it. Hey. That's what I'm saying. You get me? Alright. Okay. Ready to punch his way out of a coffin. If he gets buried alive, you're sorted. Pie May shit out here, Pie May.
唔應該怕木頭，係木頭應該怕你。你之所以打唔穿木頭，係因為你喐手之前已經認輸。哼！